We're very excited to have him back in the city, and we're very excited to have Coach Tocchet joining us now on the Comcast Business Hotline. And, Coach, just right off the bat, we appreciate you joining us. Congratulations on being named the new head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers. What was it about this team, this Flyers team, that made you so interested in accepting this job as head coach?
Well, first of all, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Well, I think it's just not one thing. I think it was a multiple check-the-boxes thing for me. Obviously, I know the area, have a lot of people I know, relationships here, support groups and all that stuff. And then you take a look at the Flyer crest. It's always meant something to me. When I played here, even as an analyst, I think it was 2007, when 2010, I'm sorry, went to the finals. I got to become an analyst in the pre- and post-game show. That was cool to see the fan base get a taste of the Stanley Cup final. Came a little bit short. And then, obviously, I went on my way and did my things as coaches in other places and other endeavors. So I know this. I know what this can be, how special it can be. Spent a lot of time with Danny and Jonesy about the plan. Hey, listen, we all know it's a rebuild, right? I think they're second year in it. The one thing with Danny, I love his patience, but he knows that he's going to swing the bat eventually. He's calculated. I like that. There's a pool of really good hockey players in the system. There's some really good forwards. I really believe that can be stars. Obviously, we got to show up the defense and the goaltending, which we'll do. So there's a lot of potential here, and it's my job to make this team play better and develop this talent that they have here. So I'm welcome to the challenge.
Rick, you talk about the talent level. Where do you feel the talent level is on the roster when looking at building a playoff contender?
Yeah, you know what? You look at it, and I think they got really. If you look around the league, they got really good wingers. I mean, there's a lot of winger deep, big pool of good wingers on this team. Obviously, you got Mitchkoff, who's potential to be a real star. Obviously, TK Konechny is a really good hockey player, and Tippett, I think, has another level in him that hopefully I can untap. The Forsters, the Cates. You just go down the list. There's a lot of them. Obviously, from talking to Jones, they want to get whether there's a star here in the making or go get a star in free agency. The center position. We get a star centerman? That's one thing they want to attack. Obviously, the D is something that's they got a bunch of prospects that are 6'3", 6'4" that can skate. Anytime you have D that are big that can skate, there's a lot to work with. And then there's a pool of goaltenders that are 19, 20 that they're not ready yet, but they will be eventually. So that's what I love about the management group here, and obviously the stable ownership is they're willing to take steps to make this where it's just not one and done in a playoffs. It's where you're sustainable. You're getting you're going to the playoffs 5 years in a row and getting a chance to at the Stanley Cup. I think that's what they're trying to build here. I know that's what they're trying to build here.
Absolutely. We're talking to new Flyers head coach Rick Tocchet here. And, Rick, when you look at the immediacy, I know there's a plan in place for multiple years of contention, but looking at just this upcoming season, what's the number one thing on your mind that you hope to accomplish in your first year as Flyers head coach?
Yeah, I think all us coaches here in the league, we say the same thing, right? We all say the same thing. We want to be hard to play against. We want to be, a smart team, things like that. But I do believe in that. I don't want. I want Flyer fans when they leave the arena saying, "Hey, man, this team worked their butt off, and there was entertainment there." I think that's important. There's, in sports, you're paying a lot of money to go see the sport you want, whether it's baseball, football, or hockey. And you want to be entertained. And obviously the end product is winning. I mean, my job is to get this team to win. But, there's a way, there's the way of doing things. And, whether you want to use the most overrated word is process. There is a process to it. You got to train properly. You got to eat properly. You got to make sure that you practice the right way. There's just, the accountability in the dressing room, leadership. I mean, those are the part of the process. And if you don't have that stuff, there's no chance. The end result doesn't matter. You're not going to probably win. So I really concentrate on this process. How do I make these players better? Well, soon as they hit the door, they got to feel they trust the coach, they trust the system, they trust, the management and the ownership. And can they keep the outside noise outside the dressing room? That's the one thing in today's athlete. Sometimes the outside noise bothers the player and it affects their play. So can I cocoon them in the dressing room and make them understand that, the stuff that we're preaching will help you when the pressure hits you? I think that's really what it comes down to.
Now, with those words like process and plan and knowing that this is not going to be an immediate turnaround here in Philadelphia, how do you handle the patience needed to see this thing through the right way?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I'm sure fans are frustrated. But I think if they see progress, I mean, if you see players that they're used to seeing over the last couple of years make strides, if they see the way we defend the puck or the way we attack the net, the creativity that we want our players to do offensively, I think if they see progress, I think they'll buy in. If it's stunted and they don't see it, I get this frustration. But I got to tell you, and from afar, coaching against the Flyers team the last couple of years, the one thing coaching against them, the hard-working team. You could tell they're a tight-knit group. Even when guys are getting traded, the whole team's upset. So you can see there's a love there. So that's something that I'm walking into. I got to thank John Tortorella for supplying me with those attributes of this team. Now it's another level. Can we get to? And we, like I said, and I hate to use, we got to preach patience, but I just feel that you just got to, as coach staff, we can't get frustrated. We got to make sure that every day we preach the same messaging and give these guys what they need.
Rick, what did you learn in your time as a Flyer about what it takes to be successful in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I think especially as a young kid coming in, the 70s and the early 80s guys passing the torch to us young guys and knowing what it is to be a Flyer, teaching us, don't not taking nights off, and this is what we do. And, we protect our own, and this is how we train. I remember back in the 80s early 80s when I got here, a lot of teams, they come in September and they start their training camp and they start working hard then. Well, Bobby Clark starts a tradition is no, work starts in July and August. And we used to train here in the Jersey Shore and the Philadelphia area. We'd have like 15 guys here. And then when you hit the training camp, we were in such great shape. We were ahead of our time. So now that everybody does that now, we got to think of out of the box thinking, how can we get the edge on certain teams? That's what that's what you strategize. So, when you have the facilities that I have here, there's a ton of tools here for me and the coaching staff. I mean, the practice rink is probably could be the best or the top 3 in the league. Obviously, here at the arena, Wells Fargo it's another great facility. The fans when they're into it, there's no louder building. So there's a lot of tools for me to work with, and our staff.
Well, if we know anything about you, Coach, and with the penalty minute statistics that you racked up, it's going to be a tough team to play against. We're rooting for you, and we're wishing you all the best here in your time as Flyers head coach, and we'll be talking to you down the line as well. So good luck with everything, Coach.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for the support, and hopefully we have some good times ahead. Thank you.
We're all pulling for you. There he is, head coach Rick Tocchet, new Flyers head coach.
Hey, I want to thank you guys for watching, listening in. I want you to like, subscribe, do what you have to do to kind of stay on focus with us. Also, we also have plenty of other content that goes on here on YouTube. So go to that, like that, subscribe to that. And also you can catch us on the afternoon show, 2 to 6, Monday through Friday, 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com, and NBC Sports Philadelphia.